and see if I should show up late. And so if I shouldn't, then I won't.
We're here on the 3 Dot Podcast, and I've just gotten some alarming news. But Phil's here. It's 10:15, and he has to leave.
I don't have to.
Hold on. Let me lay it out, and then you can make your statement here. You have to leave to meet for breakfast at 11. True or false?
You're laying it out incorrectly. That is false.
That is what you just said.
That is not what I said.
You said it was supposed to be 11:30, and now it's 11, and here you are at 10:15, and we're starting a show.
But I wasn't able to finish the statement, the rest of it, which was I told Lauren that I would attend said breakfast if I could be late.
Okay, but
because the show goes on.
How long do these famous breakfasts go?
I mean, a lot of times, usually it goes over an hour. So
where do you go? Same place every time?
Barry's. Yep.
How do you spend an hour at a bagel shop?
Discussion.
You guys meet every weekend and talk for an hour with this guy?
Pretty much. Well, it's our father-in-law, Lauren's dad.
I understand
that,
but he's still just a person. I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm saying what is the conversation that needs to be a weekly meeting?
It's not a weekly meeting. It's just kind of like catching up and able to,
well, no,
just shoot the stuff.
That's more my question. Is an hour catch up every week?
Pretty much.
So when you go there, do you have topics? Because you came to this a week later and didn't have any topics.
Most of the time, no. I don't. Yeah. For being honest, talk about work mainly.
Your work, his work,
everybody's work, my work, Lauren's work, his work. His work and my work normally don't produce the most stories. Lauren usually produces the most stories with that.
Okay.
It's more interesting.
A weekly catch up.
Yeah, exactly. A weekly catch up.
And you have to leave here early for that.
If I end up, I'm not leaving the show early. Whenever the show ends is whenever it ends.
Okay. We'll come back to that. We are.
There's nothing to come back to.
We are approaching 1,000 views on YouTube, which is awesome. The shorts have been taken off for us, which has been a big upgrade. And to get some more movement onto Twitter, we're gonna give out free 3 Dot shirts to the first 25 followers on Twitter. I think we're at 19 right now. I just want to go and get more people to the Twitter account because I usually send the link out on YouTube. But if you go to the Twitter, you'll get sometimes our gambling updates, you'll get more interaction, and we always have someone on that account, so you can tweet at the show, things for the show that you want us to talk about, etc. And a second free merch item for Sharon, if you send the link out, get us another view from someone that's not listening, get us a subscriber. Once we reach 50 subscribers, people who have shared it will get either a second shirt, if you're also a Twitter follower, or you'll get a free t-shirt to start with.
I have an important question.
What?
Has Nick from Boise, has he gotten his shirt
I've not sent it out yet. We are in the process of making his shirt right now.
Okay, sounds great.
So we might call and follow up, see what color he wants.
All right, sounds good. Oh, we're going to have multiple colors. I love it.
Yeah, well, for now, it's going to be a black with the white logo or a white with the black logo.
Great.
Because I think that'll just be basic, easy stuff to do. But no, we are in the process of making those shirts. And Nick from Boise will be getting one.
Good for Nick. I'm excited. I'm excited for him.
Possibly the first merch item before we even have him. will be Nick from Boise.
I think he deserves it.
100%.
100%.
And he's now a resource if we have any more questions. We can call.
He's
call
a great resource.
It's Saturday morning again. He should be working.
We should look up Boise news. just follow up on Boise
news. Ask
news.
him about different
every time.
Boise. Okay. You want to just look up Boise news? And
yeah.
Ask him. But the problem is he didn't know about the national story, so I'm not sure how tuned in our guy Nick is.
I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's if we ask him something else Boise related.
Google some Boise news while we keep going here.
We'll find it out.
I had another run-in with that same rude carry-out employee. Get off of AP. You gotta go to like a local Boise news station.
Boise News. Boise News.
Yes. So this is the guy who, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I forget. It was 2 weeks ago because I talked about it last week. I bought things with a card. Then I bought a scratch-off ticket, and he threw the scratch-off.
Yep.
I go in there yesterday, and he was helping someone get ice outside or whatever. Then he comes back in, and the guy follows him in. So I was moving my stuff because I thought he was still dealing with that guy. Then he like scans around. I like size and scans what I have. Then I hand him the card. He puts the card through, hands it back to me, and then we both just stand there staring at each other for like solid 10 seconds of silence. And then he goes, "Do you want a bag?" Yes. Like, yes. I was still playing. I go, "Yes, please." And then he literally, he has his hand, and he flips open the register, rips the receipt, throws his hand in there again, puts it in there, like slams the clip down, takes the bag, and then shakes it like hard as fuck, and then he just sets it down. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's having a mental breakdown.
He's upset.
And then I walk outside. I literally just sat in my car for like 30 seconds, just processing what is wrong with this guy. What am I doing to trigger this man? And then he brings up the other people, no problem. Like I'm watching it, just no exaggerated hand motions, nothing. But when I'm in there, it's throwing shit around, fucking unreal.
He could have been upset about the ice guy.
Right. I can kind of get because he's like, I got to go around the. But it's also your job.
Yeah, it is also your job. 100%.
Did not understand that. So I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of want to go back like every day now to see if he's just gonna be a dick every single time. Maybe he's dealing with like some bureaucracy shit. Like maybe he's the manager, but he's not the manager. Like maybe there's a different manager, and then he's a manager for some stuff. So his manager can't manage him, but he has to run other stuff, but he doesn't really get a say.
Maybe he got passed over for the real manager job, and he's just upset.
Maybe he wants to be in charge and like do his own thing, but then he's got a manager telling him what to do, and it's still his job, so he should be doing it. But he's not actually doing it.
What if the manager's like, you know what, you didn't get the job. We hired an outside guy, but
he's like, I've worked here for 10 years.
But I appreciate your dedication coming in and interviewing for it. Meanwhile, he didn't actually hire an outside guy. He just wants to see how he takes rejection.
Not well.
Yeah,
if that's the case. Right. Not well.
And so he said, "Well, I didn't really hire an outside guy, but now I'm going to." Plot twist.
Maybe that's the problem. I don't know what it is, but it's really fucking me up because every time I go there, I'm like getting angry now, and it's gonna lead to a confrontation of some kind. Oh shit, that's right. I bought a Mirror newspaper there too. I wanted to read through that. Just get some more local news.
The Mommy Mirror.
It's like White House. It's a.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, it's Mommy, but it covers the whole area.
Used to be what it was called.
When?
Back in high school.
I don't think so.
I'm positive.
It's called the Mommy Mirror?
Mommy Mirror.
I thought it was just a mirror.
No, it used to always be called the Mommy Mirror. I think they switched it shortly after high school.
Because they didn't just cover Mommy.
I know, but it was still called that.
That's stupid.
And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Well, good thing they changed it.
But they didn't. Yeah. I have a couple good stories to ask Nick
from
about.
Boise.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll run through those in a minute. You watching anything good lately?
On Netflix.
Anything? Not just Netflix.
I did watch Moneyball this morning.
You watch movies from like 10 years ago all the time.
I know, but that's a good movie.
How many times have you seen The Town?
That's neither here nor there.
No, answer the question.
A lot. I don't know. I don't count.
Super bad.
I don't take a punch card for every movie, which maybe I should. That'd be fun.
I think you should document how many times you watch it. Not like purposely watch it more, but just be like, oh geez.
Starting
now watch it 50 times.
Starting on this day, I'll make a spreadsheet.
Keep a journal of what you watch.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep a journal of what you watch, and we'll revisit this in a month, and we'll see if you've watched the same movie like 10 times or not. Because for a while, there was a time where I used to text you, "What's up? Watching The Town." Like that's all you would do.
There was a couple times, yeah. And you were like, "Phil, is that your favorite movie?" I'm like, "Yes." I've told you that.
Big Ben Affleck guy.
Big Ben Affleck guy. I did. So
Have you seen Good
tried.
Will Hunting?
That is one that I have to watch.
You're a Ben Affleck guy, and you haven't seen.
I know. I understand. Okay. I understand. It's a mess up. That's on me. But
any new shows, new movies?
I tried to catch a couple. I tried to watch a couple different series on Netflix. I'm just trying to decide which one to pick up next. I tried watching Pieces of Her because that was a recommended one because I like a lot of different suspenseful kind of.
Sure.
And
I want to see a documentary about that carryout guy, his descent into madness before he becomes a supervillain.
I'd watch it.
Fucking A.
So I watched 1 episode, 2 episodes of that, and I was like, this is not for me.
This isn't the town.
And it was a high recommendation. That's why I was like, no.
When you go through, are you like, Ben Affleck's not in it? Probably not going to like it.
No.
Okay. Apparently there's a documentary about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. You know they own a soccer team together?
I might have heard about that.
I've heard it's good.
Or at
Someone
least
recommended it to me. I was
seen
curious
that.
if you've seen it.
I think I've seen it like indoors.
I might watch that at some point. There's a new AI show on Peacock. It seems like it's kind of like AI's taking over the world type of deal.
Yeah.
But that's something I'll probably start soon. Mainly, I've been watching Succession still. That's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I have the Max.
Do you?
I do.
You need to watch Succession. And I think you would really like Barry.
I've had that saved, Barry.
Because I think I told you about that a while ago.
Yeah. You or somebody else. I've been told by a couple people to watch Barry.
It was me.
There was somebody else.
No, Barry's phenomenal. Barry's a really good show. See here. I literally wrote down on here Breakfast with Lauren's dad. I really wanted to talk about that. Do you guys talk about shows there?
We have. Yeah.
What's his favorite show?
Movies. Her favorite show?
His.
He's kind of all over the place. He doesn't really have... He'll say, have you watched this show? I watched that, and then it was good. And then not really jump into favorites, but they're always different genres.
Do you ever get annoyed that it's like, I gotta go see father-in-law again?
No.
Every week?
No. He's fun to hang out with.
He's fun.
Yeah. It's a good time.
What's fun?
Oh.
You guys play games?
No.
What do you mean it's fun?
It's a good time. I don't know.
Do you get breakfast?
I think this is fun. We're not playing games.
Do you guys go get breakfast with your parents?
No, they're not really. They are very much homebodies. They don't really like getting out.
Yeah, you could go over there for breakfast. You could bring berries over there.
I could. It's a half-hour drive. I don't know if I should just show up unannounced on a Saturday morning.
No, announce. You could call them and say, "Hey, do you want to get breakfast?"
Where's the fun in that? Yeah, and I will put money on it. I know my parents very well. Be like, you guys want to get breakfast? I appreciate the offer. We're probably gonna make breakfast. Yes, I've offered numerous times.
How often do you see her dad compared to your parents?
I go to my parents every week, so I see my parents once a week.
But yeah, and then go?
Sometimes.
So
because a lot of times when I'm going to see my parents, she's going to see her mom and her brother.
Okay.
So a lot of times there's a intersection there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So are you like obligated to go to this breakfast every Saturday, or do you want?
No, I'm not. But I mean, it's breakfast.
Would she be like annoyed if you were like, no. You know what, I'm not feeling it today?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the dynamic here.
Yeah, it's even.
Because so you have a weekly meeting with her dad.
But not a meeting.
You have a weekly meeting. You got to meet quotas. And
I'm gonna start
check in with her dad.
I'm gonna start carrying a briefcase.
You should.
And have a checklist.
But what I'm getting at is here. So you have a weekly meeting with her dad, and then when you go see your parents, she goes to see her mom. Does she not like your parents?
No, she does.
Does she not like your parents?
It just intersects.
Okay. I'm just asking the question. It just seems interesting.
It is.
That you have a weekly morning meeting with your father-in-law.
It's not weekly. It's random. It's very random.
Okay. It seems to be every week because it was last week too, right?
It is. It was last week.
You went by yourself last week.
I did. I like hanging out with the guy.
But this is my point. If you don't feel obligated or anything,
I don't feel obligated.
So you just want to hang out.
Yeah. He offered. So I'm gonna take him up on the offer. He jogs in Sylvania every week.
Does he wear a headband? Anything like that?
He's not a headband guy.
Joggers?
Sometimes. Yeah.
I was just saying, I've met him maybe
a couple times.
2 or 3 times. Yeah, a handful of times.
You ever jog in joggers?
No.
No.
If I'm jogging, it's typically shorts.
Yeah.
It's just weird, still weird to me to wear like pants to jog in.
Yeah, I'll jog in pants if it's cold enough, but normally if it's cold enough, then I'm not jogging.
So she doesn't like your parents.
She does like my parents.
Okay. She doesn't like your mom though.
No, but she does like my mom.
Okay. All right. Just trying to figure this out. So we hung out with last weekend. Jeremy and Paul. That's Haley's friend, and then I also knew Jeremy, and then his boyfriend Paul. They live in Columbus.
Okay.
We went to dinner, and we were hanging out here, and it's funny. They were telling us. So Jeremy has a work from home job.
Okay.
And
good for him.
His doctor basically told him you need to like interact with people more because I guess he was just chilling at home. And like after COVID, they just got to be normal where like they just kind of hang out at home. That's what they do.
I'd be like, I'm interacting with you right now, aren't I?
Right.
So
right.
So I'm sorry. I don't give anybody a hard time who doesn't like interacting with people.
So they joined a softball team. Okay. And they missed a tryout.
This isn't going to end well.
They joined a LGBT softball league.
Hold on.
Yeah.
There's a tryout for a softball
It's
team.
Columbus. Apparently there's a big... Well, I think you can try out to be on the better teams or whatever. Like, there's a whole, like, A through E divisions and stuff. It's a big deal down there, I guess.
Okay.
So they missed a tryout, so they got put on the E team. And they were telling us how bad their team is and everything.
I'm sure it is.
Right. And then apparently there's a 16-year-old who goes by Mars. They, them. She has blue hair. Or they have blue hair. And for their number, they picked pi, the pi symbol.
Oh my God.
And it was just an interesting conversation because then we got into like talking about this person, and then I guess she always complains. They always complain. That's gonna mess me up. We're gonna get canceled before we even get 1,000 views.
Before we even start.
I think it's just they them. They, I guess, always complained that like their parents don't understand like everything, and Paul was going like, you can't even figure out who you are, and you expect your parents to like keep up with everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, It's just an interesting perspective of him. He's just like, it's insane because like they'll show up. They will
See
show
how
up.
hard it is to keep straight?
It's tough, and like I'm trying. Oh, Phil, that's. We better not clip that. What do you mean? What do you mean by keep straight?
I don't know. What do you mean?
No, you said it. I mean, you looked at me. Were you making a joke right there? Are
No.
you not taking this seriously?
No, I'm taking it very seriously.
You should be.
I saw a story related, I promise. And it was
Thanks for promising.
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
And they both transitioned to the opposite sex.
Maybe it was the same story, maybe that's a rapid thing that's happening. But yeah, I saw that.
That it was a thing. It was like, this is just people trying to be straight in more than one step. That's pretty good.
That is funny. But you're also mocking their life, though, at the same time. So you be careful, you edgelord. No, but it was just interesting to hear Paul's perspective of being like, you are constantly changing, and you are like this and this and this, and then you're trying to get these older people to be like, yeah, I'm keeping up with everything at the same time. Like,
right.
You need to understand yourself before you can be like, you don't get me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it was interesting to hear his perspective. And him and Jeremy, or Paul made a point. He's like, we're not that much older, but like for us, we're in the closet, and then we knew we wanted to come out, and then we came out. But now, like, kids are like, I'm this, this, and this.
Right.
And they don't really know exactly what they are yet.
I heard an interesting take, and I mean, I think it's a valid question, but there was
Jesus, what are you about to say?
No, it was So I was listening to this interview, and it was a a gay guy, and
why do you laugh when you say that?
I didn't laugh when I said that. And it was a gay guy, and he said he was very much against the they them things, people who say that gender isn't a thing. And
that's kind of what Paul and Jeremy, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but that's kind of what they were saying, is like, or at least when you're that young,
right.
Don't jump to all that.
I agree with that, but it's like, he just said, well, if you're saying that gender isn't a thing, then you're saying that pretty much kind of abolishing lesbian and gay, because he's like, you're saying that what I'm attracted to isn't a thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm like, it's a valid argument.
Yeah, it was a valid question.
I get what you're saying, and that's it's just, where does it end?
Right. And I mean, it's definitely good that two white straight guys are here discussing it, but I did just find it really interesting to have someone else's perspective, because like I don't pay that much attention to it. It doesn't affect my life or whatever, or at least not yet. Like, there's never been a situation where it's like someone's telling me you misgendered, or you know what I mean? Like, it's never come up in conversation.
I like how you say "yet," because we're both like, it's gonna happen.
No, it will. I'm sure it will at some point. Like, in some. That was not a censorship beep. That was our soundboard dying. And due to our lack of producer, again, which has been a theme on this show, we are going to be very close to each other and the microphone to try to finish this podcast.
It'll work out nice. Intimate.
But as we were saying, it's not something that has come across either of us directly in our lives, but it's will at some point, I would guess.
I would guess, too.
But no.
At the rapid rate.
I can't imagine just being a parent and being like, every day they have something else that they are trying to, my child's tried to be, and then if I'm not on board with it right away, then I'm the issue and I'm the enemy.
Did you hear about I want to say it was locally, that there was a kid in high school, and they identified as a cat. And they said that they required a litter box to go to the bathroom.
See, was that a real story or a fake story? Because I saw that, and then I saw that people blowing it up got like pranked because it was a fake story. I thought
it was real, but I can't say that I looked much more into it.
It's got to be hell as a teacher right now, because kids immature, like whether they have real issues or not. Some kids are gonna do it just to mess with teachers or see how far they can push things, like a cat or whatever. It's got to be brutal to try to navigate that and not lose your job. Because if you do the wrong thing, you can lose your job in a second now.
Yeah.
There's no, I'm trying. Like, there's no, like, there's no, you're not going to point at the kid and be like, they're lying.
I saw a thing that was, because I saw multiple parents post about it that were in the Anthony Wayne School District.
The bathrooms?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Wayne now has bathrooms where if you go to whatever bathroom you identify.
Right.
Well, yeah, my first thought was, and I said, well, you're telling me that at least one kid's not going to be like, oh, I identify as this, and
I've heard that there was like a lot already that have done that, and so I just look at it from the point of view like if I had a kid in the school, but
you would what?
I mean, I look at it from the fact if I had a daughter,
Sorry, I just like that you were ready to just put that half take out there. Yeah, I look at the perspective if I had a kid.
Like anyway. if I had a daughter that was 14, 15 in the restroom, and then because we all know that there's weird kids out there that will try to take advantage of this stuff. And then there's a 18-year-old that goes in and it's just those two, 18-year-old guy.
Right.
Doesn't identify as a female, but he's like, all right, this is my shot.
Shot at what?
I don't know. Doing something.
What are you implying here?
I'm implying that there's some
I'm with you. I'm following you, but what's the implication?
That there's some sick kids out there.
I do. I giving you a hard time. I do agree with that. I'm not.
You get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. But I think naturally our first fan is to go to the most dramatic, worst possible scenario.
Absolutely.
I'm not at all saying that people who would do that are going to instantly go in there and sexually assault someone or whatever.
I'm not saying that either. Or I'm not trying to come off as that way.
This is our most, like...
controversial?
It's really not, because we're being very just, like, observant, like, just
nonchalant.
Very on surface level, but it's interesting, because this is the first time I've been like, all right, we got to navigate what we're saying very carefully.
As this guy has said she about the they numerous times.
I think it was... I'm trying to remember, because it was either she, they, or, like, they, them only.
Oh.
Like, it was not, like...
Mm-hmm. I've also seen videos where it was like, I identify, my pronouns are Z, Zer, Zim. And I'm like...
Well, see, now that's just
what?
Yeah, I mean, but that's again where someone's just probably trolling more than anything.
You'd hope.
You would hope that is true. Moving on to something we're more comfortable with.
Yeah.
Sports topics. So I wanted to just review. We were correct. You were correct. Several Ohio State takes. We did get a tackle transfer in from San Diego State. Lorenzo Styles Jr. transferred in from Notre Dame. And then 2 wide receivers not named Julian Fleming transferred out. So far, shooting 100%.
Good news.
Yeah, and also good news. We're also in for a defensive tackle from Ole Miss who's like 6'3", 300 something, and he plays baseball as well and hits bombs. Dude just launches home run. He's massive. It's incredible.
Correction, it's Ole Miss.
What'd I say?
Old.
Did I say old?
You did say old.
Son of a bitch.
It's all right.
Did I misgender Ole Miss?
I don't know. Should it be called Ole Miss anymore or Old M? If we don't know.
So Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's still a dog.
He is still a dog.
They stole game 1, and then he didn't play at all in game 2, correct?
Something like that.
Phil?
I've been locked into my Sixers, who have been disappointed.
Well, all right, we'll get to that then. I'm 90% sure he didn't play. No, because I saw him fan on Twitter. He did not play at all in game 2. They still almost won. I still think that he are gonna win that series.
Yeah.
And then we'll go just straight into, because I know you are a 76ers fan. You're 76. Have you been watching the games? 76ers Celtics.
My issue is with my sleep schedule. I get so tired so early now. Last night I went to bed at 7:30.
Well, we're old.
I know.
I mean,
with all these games at 9 and 10 o'clock, I'm like, what do you want me to do here?
Right.
I can't stay awake. But it's just frustrating to me. So we win the first game with Harden dropping 45.
Was it 45? I thought
Yeah.
he dropped a 50.
Yeah, he dropped 45.
Okay.
Then Joel comes back, Embiid wins MVP, and we lost 2 games in a row. And I just don't get it. And Harden combined has only scored 28 points in those 2 games combined.
The last 2?
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if it's him trying to over facilitate,
that's what's
or
weird,
just off shooting, or what.
It always has kind of been a thing where like Harden was a good 6-man with OKC.
Yeah.
Like, phenomenal, overqualified to be 6-man. Then he goes to Houston, and it's like his show.
Yeah.
And he's incredible. Then now, there's also the whole other thing, but with the Sixers, it's like, I feel like they're both such big stars.
I agree.
Like, they're both almost too big of stars to where they can't quite coexist.
Yep.
Now, they've obviously been doing it all year to an extent, but like that first game is kind of a demonstration of like, all right, no, I know it's me, so I'm going to play my game and put up however many shots I want to do. And then when Embiid comes back, it's like, okay, I know I need to get him the ball. Because they both also have egos, too. I feel like Embiid's is a little bit more like, I need the ball, and I'm also going to talk about it if I don't.
Yeah.
You know, like there's kind of that element, too. So then if you're deferring to Embiid, who is very talented, but it's not as efficient to be trying to outscore 2s with 3s as well, especially when you look at like the Lakers-Warriors series, where the Warriors have like 50 more 3s than the Lakers.
Right. And I'm not looking at this as a detriment, I guess, but I don't know, and it sounds stupid to say out loud, but I don't know how much. I feel like with Tyrese Maxey, because he's turned out to be very good for the Sixers, I feel like that's almost like what they were expecting Harden to be.
Right.
And so with that...
Harden's old, too. I mean, that's the thing, yeah.
And so Harden a lot of times would get... There were multiple games during the season where he only got 20 points, but he got 15 assists. Right. And I'm like, that's what you need, but at the same time, that's what Maxey can be. And Maxey's the young guy, so do you try to... Obviously, you can't trade him now because you're so deep in.
Right.
But, like, what are you trying to do? Type deal. So that, I think, is going to end up being a detriment.
Do you think they win the series?
No.
No.
I love the Sixers.
What's
I don't think they
is
do.
Like the Celtics will look amazing in a game and then look rough in a game. You know, like it's weird that both these teams are very similar in that way. I said before, like the Celtics on paper are the more talented team in the whole East. If you take out Giannis, which Jimmy already did.
Yeah.
But like they also have some issues because it's like they have the same kind of thing going on where it's like, all right, is Jaylen Brown the guy or is Tatum the guy?
I feel like at this point we know that Tatum's the guy, but I get your point.
No, but I mean, but Jaylen,
he's a dog.
Jalen's a dog, and not only that, like Tatum has rough nights too. It's not like Tatum's
he does.
Like they don't have the alpha. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's like, all right, who's got it tonight? Type of thing, which works out really well sometimes, but I feel like other times it's detrimental.
Right. I think it works though for them.
And they have Smart, who's just not what he used to be.
No, it's not. But I feel like with the Celtics, they all kind of know what their role is. Like Tatum is the assassin.
Mm-hmm. What? Yeah.
I think. That's how they view him. Like,
okay.
He's the star guy.
I think he's really talented. I'm not trying to say he's not. I just don't. He lacks something to me. I don't know what.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. So Tatum's the guy that they want to go to. Jalen's the one.
That dog in him.
Jalen's the one. Well, they're gonna show him more attention than just kick it to Jalen because Jalen's a beast. I feel like
defense too. I mean, Jalen is a dog on defense.
Yeah, and I feel like Marcus Smart knows his role. Just like providing the energy. He's good on defense. Get the buckets when they come to him, but he doesn't force it.
He forces it. That's kind of their issue.
I don't want
to. That's kind of their issue. Is Smart does force it a little bit when you have two guys who are 1A, 1B,
right,
and then you have Smart sometimes forcing the issue, and also like they are talented. They're deep, but also like after I said that, I was like they are kind of top heavy in the way that they have those two guys. Smart has fallen off just because he's a more physical player. And then you have Smart and White as your point guards who aren't bad, but not,
right.
They're not both offense and defense. Like, Smart's a good defensive player, but not as quick as he used to be. He doesn't have the offense that the other two guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Horford's old. He's not bad, but he's more of just a veteran presence.
Right.
And, like, what, those are that's their core, which is good to have, but I feel like Embiid should be just dominating any of their big men. I know they have a lot to throw at him, but I feel he's kind of got. Oh, that did remind me. Sorry, just as a sidebar. But did you see the DeAndre Ayton highlights and stuff?
No. I made a bet on that last night.
What?
I was kind of bummed. I lost. I mean, it wasn't huge. I put $25. Just simply, like I told you, I'm big on the massive odds.
Mm-hmm.
$25 on the odds were plus 1,800.
Okay.
For there to be 3 dunks in the first 3 minutes of the game last night.
What the fuck?
I was like,
why'd you?
I didn't think that's too bad.
Well, if it's plus 1,800, that tells you that's bad.
But I mean, the way I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you got Ayton, you got KD.
Ayton doesn't dunk.
Chris Paul can't dunk anymore. But I'm just
KD's old. He's a mid. He's not.
I've seen he still yams from time to time.
Yams.
But anyways,
no. But Ian doesn't dunk. That's kind of the whole problem. Is he's soft as hell.
I kind of just looked at that payout and I was like, it's an NBA game. We can get and there's no defense, so we can get you. So we can get 3 dunks.
Yeah, you say there's no defense. It's the playoffs now. They actually do play a little bit of defense. If it was regular season, the 3 dunks would probably be a good bet. But no, Ayton is like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks.
Is he?
Yeah, he's soft. Like, he's kind of like Sabonis, from the kid series. Like, there's one where you guys layup blocked. It's like he should be like he's bigger than everybody. Like he does that killer instinct type of thing. And then there was one where, because like they've all been like chirping him, like Paul and Thompson and all them. Because like, say what you want, Chris Paul, Durant, and Booker give a shit. Like they're all dogs. Yeah. They all are serious about it. Where Ian's still young and everything, and like there's one where Jokic missed a shot and Ian kind of stumbled out of bounds, and then Jokic missed again, guys on rebound again, and tried to lay it in, and Ian's just standing there watching. Like he didn't even try to get back into play, and it's like that's the kind of stuff.
That's always discouraging. Period about NBA because that happens all the time.
The effort thing.
Yeah. I'm like, what's even the point? Why are you playing the game? when you're not even gonna try.
You're gonna be actually invested in it.
And you're 7 feet. You're 7 feet, 220 pounds. You can't defend. That's literally your sole purpose on the defensive side.
Right.
Be an enforcer.
He is not.
He is not.
You think the Nuggets win that series?
I'd go with the Suns still.
I think it's interesting that
what's the series now at?
I want to say it was 2-1 Denver.
I'll go with the Suns still.
Let me look. The Suns won last night, and it's Denver leads series 2-1.
Okay.
It is weird to me that they have Jokic, they have Murray, they got their guys back. Jokic almost wins MVP for the third year, and we're picking the Suns. Not you, but everybody's.
No,
I
mean, I know.
And I get it. You talk about top end talent, Booker, Durant, like those two. Paul's, again, he's reached that point.
He knows he's not that guy anymore.
And but the problem is, now teams are letting him try to be that guy.
Yeah,
and he can't. He can't do it.
He's like, oh, I'm back.
It's similar to the Lakers series. Like LeBron still has some in the tank, but he's 38.
Yeah,
or right. Isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's 38.
38, 20 years in the league, like, he can't do the same things. Like,
he's not going to go out and get 45 whenever he wants.
Or like, his 3-point percentage is, like, trash. Like, he's one of the lowest ranked 3-point percentages in the playoffs so far. But you watch him play, he's still, like, will make sick turnarounds, good mid-range, but he doesn't quite have that thing. And it's like, well, if all you got to do is Keon Davis and force LeBron to shoot some threes, you have a better shot. Like, Davis is still a monster, but he's the same thing with this whole era of big men. Embiid, great, but has some softness to him.
Right.
He does. He flops all the time. He's hurt. Davis, same thing. Ayton, same thing. Like Sabonis. Like you go down the line, there's not these intimidating big men anymore.
Right, and it's everybody's. You're awarded for flopping, which is disgusting.
Right.
I hate it.
Like, if you're Embiid, you can't be getting shoved down by someone a point guard barely touching you.
No, I get that.
Like, I get you're trying to get a call, but you can't be that soft.
Right.
It just is a weird message to send.
No, I feel it. And it's like, I feel weird because I play basketball every week.
Is this before or after a breakfast with the father-in-law?
What do you mean?
When you play basketball.
This is on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So that doesn't interfere.
No, that doesn't interfere. But when I play I don't even ever think about, I mean, granted, it's just playing for fun, pickup games. But it's like, you can call a foul whenever. And if somebody just bumps, why would you ever just...
Right.
Dude, just throw your body everywhere. It doesn't make sense.
If you extrapolate in pickup, you don't get anything from that.
Exactly. You're like, man, I didn't even touch you. You're not getting the ball.
Well, that, and if you were to call it, it's like, okay, take the ball up top.
Right.
And in the NBA, it's the same thing. You just keep the ball. Like, there's not really a...
And if you do that in pickup, they're going to give you a reason to call a foul.
Definitely. As they should. If you're playing in the right
game.
If you're playing in the right game, they will give you a reason.
I did that in our basketball days.
I did
a couple times.
I gave someone a reason to call a foul
a
couple times.
It was to Adam.
Who? You?
Yeah.
Me?
I did it to Adam.
Oh, both of us did that.
I would go up and defend a shot, and he walked down the court, and he said, you foul me every time you're guarding me, right? Dude, I'm like, oh, okay. And so he drove for a layup, and I purposely pushed him hard to the ground. I said, that's a foul.
I forget his last name, and I don't say it because I don't want to say it on the show.
Do you know the first name?
Adam. I'm talking about Adam.
Oh, okay.
He was the most frustrating person to play basketball with.
Still to this day.
You still play with him?
No. Oh. I'm just saying, from memory.
He was
terrible.
He was terrible, but he always acted like he was the best.
Yeah.
And he wanted to lead it, and he wanted to be the point guard. And he couldn't dribble. He would just dribble with his head down back and forth. He would pull up from the free-throw line. He would always pull up from the elbow and just brick it as hard as possible off the backboard. Every time. I swear to God, I've never saw him make a shot in all the times. Bad. And then he would stop the game to call fouls or make rules or say you can't do this or you can't do that.
And then he'd be like, guys, come on. Come on.
With the little condescending tone.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer, too.
Yeah.
I would never want that guy defending me.
No way.
I'd be like, send me to jail.
Right.
I don't even want to see what this guy's going to do.
Right.
Then, then there was the time when I found him and he messaged me on Facebook.
I forgot about that.
After the game to tell me that it wasn't Christian and that what if he just shoved Kevin, who was like a 15 at the time,
right,
or if he shoved you, and I literally called him.
Called him?
Oh, I went off on him.
I didn't know that you called him.
I literally went off on him and I cussed him out, dude. Like it was like a 10-minute conversation and he maybe said 4 words and the rest of it was just me yelling at this
dude.
And then I never went back to that game again. Just because I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna deal with this guy anymore. And then I ended up moving anyway, and changing shifts. Like it all kind of worked out, but I was just like, what is happening?
And I remember it used to be every other week. It was somebody else like
leading it.
He would be every other week, and then in between
we wouldn't go,
and we wouldn't go the
weeks
weeks that he was leading it.
Yeah, because sometimes he wouldn't go if it wasn't his week. Yeah, too.
And I think it was Jeff. Jeff would be the one leading it.
Little Tom.
Yeah. I'll be like, I'll go if that's the case.
I wish Jeff could still play.
Yeah. Jeff was good.
Jeff was awesome. Yeah, Jeff was like the old school point guard. Great. He was classic like YMCA old man.
A lot of them were.
Oh yeah, no.
Jeff and Barrett, Barrett could not. I
remember
down.
The first time I ever went, and it was like Barrett. Who do we just Jeff? Like 2 other guys that didn't go anymore, but they all had clearly played together for years.
Paul would go for a while.
I loved Paul.
Yeah, Paul was awesome.
Paul was great. Paul was great a different way because he would give you a hard foul, but it was like in the game. It'd be like game point, and he'd foul you, and he'd be like, "I'm not gonna let you score."
Yeah.
And like,
but
then you'd tap and be like, "I respect."
Yeah.
Like, he
would be the nicest. He'd hack you. Sorry, man, I'm not giving you that.
No,
the nicest guy.
I respect that.
Me too.
But it's also just funny when you play with older guys who have clearly known each other forever because like they pass so fast, they know exactly where the other person's going to be.
The chemistry is off the charts.
It's wild and pickup. Was the same thing happened like we were all pretty good or whatever, and then like the day that Murph and I went together for the first time, Murph and I both put up like 40 because it was just
you guys were both balling.
Because it was that same thing. Like if you played with someone for a long time,
right?
Like you just know exactly where they're good, where you want them to be, like that kind of thing.
I remember one time when you guys showed up, and I think it might have been a time where there were less people. There was one time for sure that I think there was only 7 of us, but me, you, and Murph were 3 of them, and you were like, "All right, it's me, Phil, and Murph up against you 4." And we would run it every time.
We won every game that night.
Game.
Dude, do you remember when we went to Bear Park and you and me played 2 on 3 and 2 on 4 and we won?
We won every time, dude. That was so fun.
No, I do miss that game because like I missed the old game. Like it used to be really fun with those guys. And then like when it got to be like 30 people.
Yeah,
or like 25 people, like, and you got 4 teams waiting. Like 3 teams was perfect. You know who else was fun to play with? Was Timmy Lee.
Tim was a lot of fun.
Tim was fun.
I was just
and he got so much
him.
better. Like he when he first started, he couldn't like shoot, but he was fast. And then he slowly like worked out. He was really good by the time we left.
And he used to be like uncontrolled with his speed.
Right.
But then,
he learned how to use it, and it was like, holy crap, this dude is really good.
Right. And if I ever got matched up on Timmy, I would tell people, I'm like, do you know how big of a problem this is? I'm not this fast.
I revolutionized that game because you couldn't keep up with Timmy, and I was like, we're playing zone.
Dude, I loved running zone. And I remember people that would come for the first time.
Mad.
They're like, you run zone and pickup? I'm like, yes.
We do.
We do. If you're so mad at it, just beat it. It's fine. You can beat it. Yeah.
I would just send the middle.
Try to beat this defense.
I also love when Brandon used to go.
Oh my gosh, dude. There's a throwback.
I know. And now we're just it seems like the mic came back. I don't know. But now we're just doing old stories about basketball. So
hey, it's fine. I love old stories.
What was your Boise story?
Oh, there was a couple stories that we could go the Boise route. So, IdahoNews.com, there were 2 of them. $3,000 scholarship was earned by 4 of the high school golfers.
Nick's not gonna know about
this
that.
is the big one that I was expecting him to. I wonder if he's a Cinco de Mayo guy. Because on Cinco de Mayo, they were holding a big event at Indian Creek Plaza. So I don't know if he participated.
I don't think he did.
How do we know?
Boise is a big area, man.
It is a big area.
Here's
the
what
man
we'll do.
didn't even know about the animals.
We're going to visit for this next episode next week.
Okay.
First of all, think of things throughout the week.
I'll be better at that.
Because Phil showed up today, and I called him, and he goes, I go, what, you coming in hot with topics? He goes, honestly, no.
No, not really.
Not really, which is fine. That's what you do.
It is what I do.
But for this next week, I'm gonna look up the address of that store.
Okay.
We're gonna find stories around that area, like that specific area, and then we're gonna call Nick with a few questions. Also, I will mail him the shirt next week.
Sounds great.
So we can call him, let him know the shirt's on the way, and then ask him a few questions.
This is exciting.
Get a little flavor of Boise.
Exactly. That's what we want.
I did have people tell me that listened to the last episode.
Nick, what do you think about the blue field? Boise State.
I did have some people tell me that they go, one, like, Nick was awesome. Like, just a short conversation, and then they were like, Boise sounded just great. You had the hold music was very just comforted. I was like, yeah, boy, different place. You know?
Calm. They have nothing to be mad at, because, I mean, the population is probably 400 for the whole town.
Boise?
Actually, Boise's busy.
I was going to say, that's the thing.
The whole entire state lives in Boise. Probably most of them, for being honest.
So this has been the 3 Dot Podcast, episode 25.
25 episodes.
25 episodes.
Nice.
First 25 on Twitter will get a free shirt. Anyone who shares it, send a screenshot, tweet us a screenshot, tag us on Instagram that you're sharing it, get a subscriber. First 50 subscribers will get a free merch as well.
Also, follow 3 Dot Grudgely. I heard that guy's a decent follow.
The whole point of the parody account is that they wouldn't know who it was.
It's not me. I'm just saying to follow 3 Dot Grudgely. I just know that it's a new 3 Dot member.
So then we will also put out some shorts. We're going to do shorts from each episode, and those have really racked up our views. So hopefully we hit 1,000 by next episode.
And those will be for sale in our clothing line.
What will?
Shorts. It's a dad joke. I'm not a father yet, but, it's a good time.
Goodbye.